Hello and welcome. Today we've got Danielle and Mark, and we have the testimonials that have participated in the gold and silver memberships. And that's what we will be discussing today. We'll be going through their journeys, and please welcome Lisa. We've got Julian, we've got Jay and Adam. Now, just before we begin, you can subscribe to our Telegram channels and to nicholasveniamin.com for my free email updates. And if you're watching this for the first time on YouTube, I will leave the link below in the description for the full interview, unless, of course, myself and the guests can choose our words wisely due to the insane censorship that's happening right now. Guys, how are you? And what have you been up to? Mark and Danielle, we'll go with you first.
We're good. Everything's been really good. We're excited. We're coming into Christmas, and yeah, we're just, we're feeling really, really good and really hopeful.
Yeah, it's been a great time. And, really waking up in the morning, feeling positive about what you're doing, feeling positive about what's going on, regardless of what's going on in the world, is a great place to be. So we're doing great. We appreciate the message that you're sending out.
And, Lisa, Adam, how you guys been? Jay? Julian, let's go with Lisa first.
Great. Excited.
Okay.
Excited every day.
Okay. Julian?
I'm full of glory and I'm very grateful for what we're doing, and, very hopeful, as well as Daniel mentioned, about the future.
Okay. And Jay, how are you?
Excellent. Yeah, I feel great. I feel like I'm already on the other side of this. So solid and hopeful and feeling great. Thank you.
Thank you. And Adam, how about you?
Of course, yeah. Similar to my counterparts, a lot of the same feelings. I would say I also feel really inspired, again, hopeful, empowered. Those are the three key feelings that come to mind when I think about what's going on right now. Even with all the craziness, with what we have our hands on, with what we're doing, it's inspired, it's motivated, it's empowered, it's hopeful.
Absolutely. It's amazing that we have this thing going on with the membership, with the gold and silver, because we can, turn some of our fiat currency into tangible God's money assets, if you like. Mark and Danielle, why don't you give us a short presentation of what you would like to share with the viewers today? And it's an amazing thing that you brought the testimonials who will then also explain, in a few minutes, about their journey with their membership.
Sure. It's funny because while you're talking to that, we're kind of like pointing to each other. Okay, you take this one, you take this one. But I'll take this to start. I'll just say, we've gone through our entire lives. I wish I had known what I know now about gold and silver, because the more I learn, the more that it's incredible. I mean, you could literally buy, this is a fact I learned, you could buy 3 houses today for less gold than what you could buy one house for back in 2001, 20 years ago. And so while our dollars are dropping in value, while everything around us is skyrocketing in inflation, we're going out there and empowering people with gold and silver and educating people. And there's going to be skeptics out there. There's going to be people who want to go different ways. But I'll tell you what, the people who are getting these God's money and literally allowing it to appreciate over time are really seeing and setting themselves up for a strong future, in my personal opinion. It's fantastic. It's a great feeling when you go to bed at night thinking, how many people did we bless today? As opposed to, what did I do to get ahead today? If that makes any sense.
And
Absolutely.
I have to say, Nicholas, because of you, because, you've invited us on here to share again and again, we've been able to make amazing connections in helping people who have reached out. Some of them here today. And it's just been amazing. We're creating a community of like-minded people who are taking back their power. And this is just one way to do it, right? We've always been talking about collapsing the systems, and the monetary system, that's a big one. And when you don't have to worry about your finances, you know that you're solid and you're insured, it's easier to then go out and help in other areas. So because of you, Nicholas, we've met this amazing, beautiful group of people here. So I'm excited for them to share what the membership has done for them.
And just to recap to everybody, what the membership actually does is it gives you access to gold and silver through a membership that has so many benefits that will easily pay for itself. I'm just telling you flat out, anybody who uses it's going to see the great value. But we get the education, which was fantastic. And so there's so many benefits that come around this. that you share with people, and so many ways that people can get their hands on this. So with that, I'll hand it back over to all the folks and have them share what it's done for them.
Okay, just before we select, I just want to say as well that I always tell my people as well, my family and friends, I always tell them having fiat currency in your bank account is just as good or the equivalent to having your cryptocurrency in another person's wallet, crypto wallet, and that particular cryptocurrency is declining. That's exactly what it is. But having gold and silver just does the complete opposite. Now, I want to hear your testimonials. So why don't we go first with Lisa? Lisa, tell us, how did you find the membership, Silver and Gold, and Danielle and Mark, and what was their procedure like? And what has it, how is it, what has it done for you?
Well, first of all, I became familiar with the membership and Danielle and Mark through your fabulous show. I was watching one day and they mentioned it. And as a result of my personal feeling about silver or precious metals, I was introduced to it as a child and heard about it from my mom referencing Indians and the value of it. And I fell in love with it. Excuse me. And I have had, silver jewelry and things like that. And I was curious a number of years ago about actual silver coins and purchase some. And when they came on and discussed the membership, I was immediately drawn in. I wanted to know more about it. And so I continued to watch the show. I listened to the information you mentioned. I immediately, the same night, jumped on, typed into the simple sheet that they had, and I signed up immediately. After that, they immediately contacted me and helped me with, the training and learning about silver, because at the time, I'm attracted to it naturally, but I didn't understand any of the technicalities surrounding silver, the values, what's the difference between bullion, collectible coins. So they've helped me with that. And I feel so much more empowered about what to buy and how to buy. And the other thing that I find enormously attractive about the membership is the Sound Money wallet. That's one of the things that I really like, because all of us are at different levels in our lives financially. And the Sound Money wallet allows someone that may have a smaller budget to be able to take advantage of the precious metals and to be able to buy it at their own rate. So I think on so many levels, this membership is ideal for everyone. There's a place for everyone to be able to take advantage of it and potentially grow their wealth and their stability and begin to transfer their fiat currency into precious metals to secure themselves. I'm so excited about it. And I just love the metals myself.
And how long have you been part of this, Lisa?
I literally saw your show in October. I believe it was October 18th, and that was the day I signed up.
Wow. Okay. Now let's move. Thank you very much, Lisa. Now let's move over onto Jay. Jay, how long have you been with the membership, and how has it empowered yourself?
And I love that word empowered. I know we use it and, they become kind of buzzwords and they lose their meaning afterwards. But, that is really the type of economy that we're in right now, is to really pay attention to ways in which we can get back in control and we can be empowered. And the membership, really does exactly that in a number of ways. I came in more as an investor because I was feeling I'll use the term very vulnerable in my core business, which is fairly transactional. And when somebody else is making the decisions about what the rule is that day as to who you can hire and where you can go, you realize that you're vulnerable. And I was also vulnerable from an investment standpoint, that I was kind of weighted in a couple of areas that made me a little bit uncomfortable. So I started looking into silver. I was mostly interested in silver. I started looking into that. And, once your radar is up, then you start hearing different aspects of it. And one of them was, you come in, Nicholas, you come into my home pretty much every day. And I caught the interview with Mark and Danielle. And again, my radar went up and I reached out to them right away. And initially, as I said, as an investor, and once I got into it, I started to realize there's so much more to this membership, the education, as Lisa mentioned, the Sound Money wallet. I'm not a control freak, but I like to be responsible and I like to make my decisions and I like to be like prepared. I like to be prepared. And it's like having extra batteries or a couple extra jugs of water in your house or something. If the power goes out or whatever, you're prepared. And so you don't concern yourself with what happens if this, whatever. You just kind of carry on with life. So that's what the membership is doing for me. And it's also about sharing is such a natural thing that we do, whether it's a restaurant or a movie we go to or clothes that we buy. If somebody said to you, Nicholas, I just love all your suits and, you look so sharp all the time. And, where do you get your suits? I mean, it wouldn't be natural for you to, I'm not telling you, you naturally would share where you got your suits and or your gym membership or whatever. You naturally bring somebody else in if you have something that you like. And so that's, the sort of the beauty of this. Not only do we have a fantastic education and investment model, but we also have a model where, if we like it and we want to share it with our friends and family, that, there is a compensation factor to that. And that's a nice piece of the puzzle.
Well, Jay, thank you so much for that. I really appreciate that. And let's move over onto Julian. Julian, how has it empowered you and how long have you been with the membership?
Thank you, Nicholas, for the opportunity. For me, actually, it's all about, education. And as Lisa had mentioned about Indians before, about understanding gold and silver. I'm originally from India, but here in Australia. And for me, education in finances was something that was very empowering. But I kind of understood that the narrative that we are sold in school, go to school, get a degree, and then get a job and kind of be in debt. And that narrative of monetary slavery, I knew very early on in my education phase of being a student that narrative is very false, and wanted to always come out of that system empowered. As we are speaking of empowerment, we always wanted to come out of that system empowered in financial education. And that's where I actually started looking up gold and silver. And, thankfully, I've kind of connected to, a show like yours, Nicholas. It's wonderful. It's empowering. And there's so much knowledge that is always shared in different aspects. And that's where I got connected to Mark and Danielle. And I kind of understood the monetary system that we are part of right now, where, the banking system, as we know, is broken because, bank is a place where they lend you an umbrella when it's fair weather and they ask it back when it's raining. And that's the system that we are in, and gold and silver has always been God's money. And it's been there since the inception of Earth. And that has always been the empowerment for the population back from, ages before. So we have that resource right now, and that wisdom is always the principal key. But with wisdom is always understanding of what we have in our hands. And with that power of gold and silver, the education that we receive in this membership, I think that is more phenomenal than anything else that we could actually look into. Because when you are empowered with wisdom and understanding, you actually know what you can do with gold and silver. And also, Lisa mentioned about the collectible coins. The numismatic industry is actually a $4 billion industry worldwide, which I never knew about it before. So, that is something that when you look into those aspects within the gold and silver industry, you actually feel more empowered to come out of this monetary slavery system. Because if we have to stand strong together as a community, we need to be empowered in finances as well. And that actually helps us move forward. So that's where I am. And in terms of how long I've been in this membership, it's been since July, and I feel fantastic about it.
Since July, wow, that's quite a while. Thank you very much, Julian, for sharing that with us. Absolutely, it's broken, this system that we're in, absolutely. And how about you, Adam? If you tell us about yourself, when did you become part of the membership, and how has it empowered yourself?
Of course. First, I just want to say I really appreciate the strength and discernment of my friends here and what they've had to say. My background is actually in finance. And in finance, they don't really talk about gold and silver because firms can't make money by selling it, and so we don't know what we don't know. But this idea was shared with me over the summer back in June. And, when I saw it, I was just blown away by the value, the low barriers to entry, the access points that normal people like myself can have. again, we don't know what we don't know until we do. So, the value that I've really been getting just from a customer standpoint really has been, I found a lot in the auto savers, the numismatic graded coins. I really look at it, me personally, I look at it as taking money from my left pocket in the form of fiat currency that's losing buying power. And I just put it right over in my right pocket in the form of numismatic coins and bullion. One thing that I heard a few weeks ago from our counterparts within the profession and mentioned that over 90% of the world's population has never held fine silver in their hands, let alone owned any. So for me, I thought that's a clue. And if investment banks are purchasing it by the droves, if governments are purchasing it by the droves, then why are the barriers to entry so high for normal people to get what they can afford to get? So the membership just blew me away with the value I saw right off the rip. For me, my barrier to entry was, what am I paying for my Planet Fitness membership? And here in the States, it's a very affordable gym membership. So I looked for ways to remove things from the budget that weren't serving me so I could add things to the monthly budget that will serve me. So from the autosaver side, I love it. It's fun. It maximizes the value of the membership while minimizing my own efforts, which I'm a big fan of, in my opinion. The Sound Money wallet, really, once someone sees how to use it and the simplicity of it, really, I don't want to sound any type of way, but truly a 12-year-old with an allowance could now participate in this revolution of gold and silver with the Sound Money wallet. And then, of course, as my friends mentioned, the education is second to none. And it's not fluff education. It's not education designed by institutions. It's education designed by professionals that know what they're talking about. So, again, empowerment is a great word for it. Certainty is another great word for it. And it's fun. It's really fun. There's a great community here of people, again, very like-minded, like-hearted people. And it's different, as Mark said, it's different when you walk around with this in your hands, in your pocket each day. It's different when you have an opportunity to create some financial certainty, and even if you wish, some financial freedom. So all in all, I think this gold and silver membership is a grand slam home run for anyone who really wants to take an honest look at it and has ever thought about precious metals for themselves. And then to answer your question again, started in June of this year, so almost 6 months, and I haven't regretted it for a second.
Wow, that's amazing, Adam. Thank you so much. And thank you for all of you for sharing your journeys with us. Over here in the UK, I don't know about the US, but I'm sure you have pension schemes where the government issue for people to, when they get paid every month, a small percentage goes into a pension scheme. And we know that this pension scheme, that's our money paid into, we know it's the fiat currency, and we're not allowed to touch it until we're 55, 60, or even 65. And with hyperinflation happening all the time, by the time we're old, it will be worth pennies. So they've trapped us thinking they're doing a favor for us, but really they're making us rely onto this pension thing that will make us broke in the end because of hyperinflation. So this is fantastic that we're taking that responsibility and we are creating our own investments and pensions, if you like, whatever you want to call it, empowering ourselves into real tangible assets. So guys, thank you very, very much. Mark and Danielle, is there anything that you would like to say before we finish?
Well,
You want to talk about that?
They're nudging each other.
Sure, I know. No, I did want to just mention, which I love, because, this is an amazing community. It's a global community. You heard Julian is from Australia. Jay's in Canada. Lisa and Adam are in the States with us. And obviously, I'm looking at Jay and Julian, watching and knowing what's going on in Australia and Canada, and knowing that we can help empower people, in their homes, who feel stuck in their homes and isolated within this membership has been fantastic too. So.
And I'll just say this, and I never want to say anything in a negative or scare note, but there was a video that we heard in which our company's CEO and one of our founders are discussing just what's going on in the economy right now. And I'll kind of just paraphrase it a little bit just for the viewers out there, because it's an eye opener, everybody. And this is why it's so important for people to, at the very least, get educated. We want to empower people. And I got a real good victory story with my dad, because if you've heard me talk about him before, I've always been saying I want him to invest in gold and silver because of what's happening with the economy, because of the inflation. And we never could get him to see it. Let me paraphrase that story, then I'll tell you the victory story. Basically, our founder had been traveling, and you can watch this video too as well, and see some of the other slides. It's incredible. But he got into an Uber driver, and he always likes to interact with the Uber driver. And the Uber driver was saying he had been from Venezuela. And our founder, obviously being in this industry and seeing what's happening with the economy, asked him if he had been there when the hyperinflation started happening. And in his words, he was saying, yes, I was there. And you can't find any animals, dogs, cats, anything, because people are literally starving. The dollar just basically, it went from like 1 to now you need 100,000 of those to just get what $1 would be before. And this is what happened when that happened. Now, this gentleman he was also talking about how his friends down there had been telling him to invest in gold. And those people who had, and he'd always blown it off thinking, oh, we're good. I trust the economy. I trust this. And now his friends who had the gold are living good, comfortable lives here in the States. This gentleman is now driving an Uber driver. And in Venezuela, he was one of the wealthiest people there. He was a surgeon, very, very successful. And now he's driving an Uber just to get by up here in the United States. And that was an eye opener for me. And we were watching my dad and my mom repeatedly. It's like every time we talked to them about getting their hands on silver or gold, just something for solidifying, seeing the dollars dropping by 1% a month in purchasing power right now. That's ridiculous. And Danielle, I gotta say, I love this lady because she talked to my dad yesterday, and she talked to him in very reasonable terms, because I can lose my patience. I'm like, Dad, you need to do this. But she talked to him in very reasonable terms, and he's now started to invest into silver, and he wants to start doing it on a consistent basis. And even though he doesn't understand it, we know that what he's doing is solidifying his future. If something were to happen, he's now going to have the ounces that he's going to be able to use to keep their lifestyle going and not be one of these people who are starving. And that's why we all need to be prepared. We don't know if it's going to happen, but it's good to be prepared. And financial is one of the best ways that people can. And education, on top of just here, go get this, is what everybody needs. And so I just want to share that. We just want to bless and help people. And Nicholas, you getting this message out, we're so grateful to you. And I just want to say, you've seen just a handful of the people here whose lives have been impacted by this message. And there's so many more. And I'm grateful to you, because if it had not been for you, these folks right here, and obviously we had learned about it before, but these folks may not be in the position where they are right now, and so many others. So you're really doing a great cause, and we're grateful.
Well, this is what the platform is all about getting people together and real journalism and giving back to the people. So it's an honor. And I hear that you mentioned before that you have a video that you would like to send me, so that we could put it at the end of this interview so that people can have a look. What do you think about that?
That sounds
still
awesome.
okay? Yeah?
Yeah, that sounds great.
Well, guys, thank you very much. And we'll catch up very soon. God bless you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Okay,
Thank
everyone.
you.
Bye.